Christof Constantine was always a little different. Growing up in Gary, Indiana, to a poor family, he needed to keep himself entertained. When his parents worked double and triple shifts in an attempt to save for their only son's college education. As a young child, Christof was often caught pushing his mother's sewing needles and other sharp objects just under his skin, or using various homemade dyes to discolor his hair. Instead of seeking counseling, which they could not afford, Christof's parents chose to nurture what they saw in their son as an interest in anatomy, thinking that their son might grow up to be a doctor and get out of Gary. They bought him science kits and medical books that they could find cheap. These books did encourage their son's interest, just not the way they thought it would. Years of saving got Christof into college in Chicago. But to his parents' disappointment, he majored in history, showing an interest in cultural practices of body modification. Sadly, before he was able to graduate, Christof was the victim of a shovel party during a Sabbat siege on Chicago. For years after that night, Christof did his best to keep his head down, identifying as a catif and trying to keep his natural powers of protean to himself, to not raise suspicion. Christof ran when he dug himself from that grave. He was not a fighter. He had just been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Edith Bubian, the painted lady of Chicago, took pity on the new fledgling. Her sire, Khalil, let her keep her new pet. Edith found an enthusiastic student with what seemed to be a natural talent, and Khalil enjoyed observing the child's need for self-expression and internal quest for transcendence. Over time, however, Christof's mastery over protean began to unsettle his adoptive sire, and he was pushed away. Now Christof is on his own journey. Greetings, kindred. I am Voivode Maquette, and welcome to our world of darkness and a very special episode of Metaplot Monday. This is the second part of a two-part celebration of having reached 1,000 subscribers. This has just been an insane journey for me, and I thank you all for being a part of it. Last night, we had our first part of the celebration, which was we did our first live stream. It was janky. It came out amazing, and we had so much fun. We ended up piecing together a character. This is in our words, it's a kindred with 1,000 sires. This belongs to the community, and it can be used by anybody who wishes to put it inside of their chronicles with my blessing. And I will be providing the PDF to get this character sheet down below in the description. The only thing that I ask is, if you can, please tell me how you end up using this character. I am so happy with how he turned out, with how much work we put into it. I spent the day fleshing him out and turning him into a usable character, getting his character history ready, and he's just beautiful. I love this character. He will be showing up in Thicker Than Water at some point in the future, and I personally cannot wait to see him in action in my games and to hear about his exploits in yours. So, what can we say about this character, Christof Constantine? Well, first off, the name Constantine was chosen by the community because they liked it, which is completely understandable. It is an amazing name. The character Constantine from the DC universe is also very fun. I'm sure he's a bit of an inspiration. And the name Christof is chosen from Christof Ramuld, the Brujah protagonist in the video game Vampire the Masquerade Redemption. So we threw him in there for honor of that. And I guess what we're going to do today is we're going to go through this character bit by bit, almost as if we were looking at a lore sheet. But obviously it's going to be a little bit different. I hope you guys enjoyed the character history that I had written for the opening of this, and let's go ahead and hop into this character sheet. All right, here we are in our little boy. As you can see, the name we have is Christof Constantine, And in quotations there, we have Vlad Lugosi. This is because our character is a tattoo artist. That's his concept. And he's made for the Our World of Darkness extended universe. I don't know how we're planning on putting that. But we chose Vlad Lugosi as his business name. Obviously, Vlad for Vlad the Impaler, and Lugosi, which I believe we spelt wrong. Let's fix that. Should be Lugosi. Yes. And Lugosi for his ties in acting, for Bela Lugosi, who is famed for playing Dracula. We'll get to exactly why he has that in a minute. His ambition is Azadahaka. That is his internal need to strive for perfection of his physical self. Basically, this character, although he's on humanity, he's following humanity, he is naturally on path of metamorphosis. He constantly wants to change himself, and I can see in some chronicles where he might actually end up becoming a full-fledged follower of that path of enlightenment. His desire is recognition. This character really wants to be recognized for being the artist that he is. And being a vampire is just another way to promote this. And he's a scene queen. This is a character who lives off of a specific social group of people, that being the body modification, modern, primitive, artistic types of individual. He goes to conventions and events and things like that, and he feeds off those people. The people who come to him for work are the people he feeds on. We decided through rolling of dice and stuff that he would be 12th generation. We didn't want him to be too crazy strong, and we decided to leave him open to be able to have childer that are not thin bloods. So we decided on 12th generation, and he is a victim of a shovel party, as you heard in the introduction, so unknown sire. We had so much fun doing this, and I hope I hear fun things about people using this. His attributes are there for you to see. 1 strength, 4 dexterity, 2 stamina, 3 charisma, 2 manipulation, 3 composure, 3 intelligence, 2 wits, 2 resolve. I actually love the fact that we didn't try to up his health, and we didn't try to up his willpower to a crazy amount, because it will leave some interesting time when he's going to end up getting in some kind of altercation, and also his being able to keep control while he's working, doing body modifications and stuff like that. It's just going to be great. We did choose for him to be a specialist, and as you can see, he specialized in body crafts. For those of you who are not familiar with that term, in the old systems, body crafts was the ability, what skills are now, that was used to use vicissitude in your game. Before V5 came out, you didn't take your attribute and your discipline and use those dice to roll. What you actually rolled was your attribute and your ability, with your discipline just being the effects. Body crafts is going to cover everything from tattoos, piercings, elfing of the ears, implants, anything that you can think of that a modern primitive might do, splitting of the tongue, those kind of things. That is going to be his specialty in what he does. He does have his performance specialized in improv, so that he can be who he needs to be depending on who he's talking to. I don't see him being that big into it, but he definitely has the ability to perform when need be. And that is where the character of Vlad Lugosi comes from, because he is going to be all about the show when it comes to him being at work. And then also his academics is specialized in history. So lots of fun. He does have some medicine on there also. No reason, I think, to go over all the skills. Here they are, and you can definitely print these out if you want to yourself. For Chronicle Tenants, I said that this character is built to use in the Our World of Darkness community, and it can be molded to any of your standard Chronicle Tenants. So where we'll be using the street code in my game, feel free to modify however you see fit when it comes to using Christof in your games. touchstones and convictions. I love his touchstones and convictions. This is something that took a little while for the community to agree on, but we ended up going with Sabin Mabel, who is a starving artist type. They're also known as S&M, and also known as S&M, very much like the way Eminem spells his name, Marshall Mathers, and all that stuff. This guy is someone that Christof buys their artwork. He is their beneficiary. He wants to see them succeed. This person is somebody that he has just decided to take under his wing, under his leathery dragon wing, and make sure that they are able to succeed. And the conviction for them is always seek transcendence through your art. The body is the art to Christof, so that's where that goes into that. Then we have Bran Bishop. Bran Bishop is his publicist. Because Christof, as Vlad, tends to go to S&M assemblies and conventions and tattoo shows and things like that, Bran Bishop is the guy who gets out there and has him do, who has him advertised. He's the one who sets up his publicity and makes sure that everything goes according to plan. Kind of like a brand manager kind of thing. And his conviction is to brand is to own. So the concept here where Tzimisce have that covetedness, where they need to own the things that they feel are their property, are going to be people who he tattoos, people who he has modified in some fashion. We've got a simplified version of the clan Bane right here. Tzimisce are grounded. Kindred must spend their day's sleep surrounded by their chosen charge. If they do not, they sustain aggravated willpower damage equal to their Bane severity upon waking the following night. Same thing has always been there. Now, disciplines. Disciplines I'm very happy with. We chose Cloud Memory, just on the off chance that he makes a mistake. He can always make the person forget and fix it. I thought that was really clever. It got into a little bit of a comedic idea, and it was just funny. I'm really glad we did that. Then after that, we chose Domitor's Favor, which can be found in the Vampire the Masquerade Companion. That is a Tzimisce-esque discipline, where if anybody has your blood in their system, you don't need eye contact. Your Dominate just works on them. And I love that. And also, if somebody gets a large enough tattoo, enough of your blood, hear me out here, could very well get into their system. If Christof is using his blood to mix with ash to make the inks, there's a very good chance, storyteller approval pending, that Christof could very well ghoul all of his patrons who get large enough tattoos. That's just fun. That's a plot point that could be thrown in there. Who knows? But I'd like to know what you guys think about that one, because a little bit is going to get into your system. Just a little bit. Then we have his Protean. We gave him Eyes of the Beast because we felt that to be a little bit more body modifying than Weight of the Feather. And then he has what we all expected. He has Vicissitude and Flesh Crafting. He also has... oh, I did not fill out those things. 1 second. Okay, got it all fixed up now. Alright, so he has a standard 5 health. 5 health is because 3 added to his stamina. And then his Composure plus Resolve would equal 5 are his willpower. So he has 5 points of willpower. He's starting off at 7 humanity, and because he's a scene queen and hasn't really done anything that's going to cause him to lose humanity, he's going to start off with that full 7. Which is going to be fun playing a Tzimisce modern primitive who is a body modifier, who also is going to be trying to keep his humanity. His blood potency is going to be a 1 because he's a 12th gen, and we have his information here when it comes to his blood surge and all that. That's all filled out as well. I don't think you can really see it, but under hunting it says manipulation plus persuasion, which is that's just his chosen scene queen hunting pool. All right, I put a lot of work into these backgrounds. First off, contact Bran Bishop. Bran Bishop is, like I said, it's his publicist. It's his contacts. Christof's publicist has always supported his work and pushed for him to be invited to events and conventions all over the country. He tends to... Why did I say his? He's... There you go. He tends to be a wealth of information, having many friends in all sorts of backgrounds. Bran has instilled in Christof to brand is to own. I really think that it's important that contact be nurtured. That is something that I know when he comes into the game and starts getting experience traits, and yes, I do give my SPCs experience traits. I will be putting those into contacts along with other backgrounds. Fame, his tattoo parlor, which we have affectionately named Impaler Inc. It's going to be a Vlad the Impaler Dracula themed place. I'm actually thinking possibly even having the chairs that people set in being shaped like coffins almost. Impaler Inc. is new on the scene, but is quickly gaining a following for being an eccentric and original source for the most edgy body modifications. Its owner, the premier attraction, Vlad Lugosi, is known for having his clientele sign contracts granting him exclusive rights to their canvas. In other words, if you want Vlad to work on you, you have to sign a contract and agree to not have any other artists work on you. And that is outlandish and should not happen, but that is the covetedness of the Tzimisce in play there for Christof. So with Lore Sheet, it was actually suggested to take Kindred Iconography, which can be found on page 278 of the Chicago by Night book. I love this lore sheet. This was so much fun, and it really is something that I think a lot of people would kind of take for Toreador and wouldn't really give a second thought about when it came to Tzimisce. But with Christof here, it's just such a great idea. We went with the number one background in this lore sheet called Iconographer, which means that you are well versed in kindred symbols and the history behind them, and you can identify and even lecture on these symbolisms. They add a 2 dice bonus to relevant academics rolls. That just seemed like a lot of fun, and it fit the character very, very well. And then for Mala, we took a 1-point Mala. Now, a lot of people said that if we chose Edith, the painted lady in Chicago, that she should have like a 4. A 3 or a 4 when it comes to what her Mala level should be. And that is what she's capable of. That is absolutely true. However, I am comfortable with a 1 in Mala because Christof once apprenticed under the famed Painted Lady of Chicago. The skilled Nosferatu educated him on the finer points of modifying kindred flesh. Uneased by her students' use of the Protean discipline in his art, the Painted Lady eventually cast him out, but can still be persuaded to his side at times. So, she still cares for him, but she's nervous about what he's capable of. Therefore, she's at a 1 because that's the effort she's willing to put into him. Again, you could very well have him earn her trust back and put more points into that. But I'm going to stick with a 1 for the time being. Resources. He has a 1. And truthfully, I don't think he should. However, we were very limited. I wanted to be very strict when it comes to how much XP these guys actually have. And he's 1 point over base book as it is. And we'll get to that in a few minutes. But his resources at a 1, I said that spending most of his earnings on the most top-of-the-line body modification equipment, Christof doesn't tend to have much in the form of liquid resources. As a kindred community discovers his talents, however, his income is sure to be on the rise. This means that the vampire community is going to be very, very interested in the fact that he can change their forms as well, using his vicissitude powers to do so. So I would say, since he's first coming into the city, he should be at a 1, but his resources should go up over time. I'm going to go ahead and change that to on and not in. Thank you. All right, then we have his flaws. We gave him the disliked flaw because anybody outside of his standard community is not going to like that he's there, because he's a body modifier. He's going to be doing things that a lot of people find unwholesome. So that made a lot of sense. We gave him a mythic folklore block, and unfortunately there really wasn't much space to put that. I think I'm going to go ahead and put that under description before I upload this. But his folklore bane, or his folklore block, is he has to be invited into places to be able to enter private institutions, people's homes and things like that. He can spend a willpower to ignore this, but it is one of those things where you could very well be coming and going a lot, and you're not going to want to deal with that. Then there's the other one. We actually took this. I've never had this on a character before. We took Stigmata. On Stigmata, your character starts to bleed from the hands, the feet, and the head when they reach hunger of 4. So we have a modified Stigmata here, and it's his tattoos that actually start to bleed out on him, not the standard Christ-like Stigmata. Thought that was fun. Like to throw that in there. He has no need for rituals, and I love the fact that this character sheet has room for rituals. And then we have his gear. I went ahead and said that he carries a piercing kit, a tattoo kit, a medical kit, a lancet kit, a scalpel set, a leather address book. It's probably made from human skin. A phone with a top-of-the-line camera with various photos of before and after shots of his work. I don't see him using his phone very often, but he's going to want that camera. And business cards for Impaler Inc. That's what I see in this guy's pockets. His equipment that he owns, he has Impalers Inc. It has high-quality, top-of-the-line equipment for performing all types of body modifications, as well as a fully stocked medical center in case of emergencies. I like the fact that we did work in medical in there, because it shows the fact that he did try to work with his family's desires and go into medicine. I think he actually did study medicine in college for some time, and then he just kind of fell in love with history. Weapons. I don't see him as a fighter, but I also see him growing up in Chicago and being a vampire, understanding that having a gun and having a knife are probably going to just be something you should do. So he does have just a standard 22 pistol, which is a +2 for damage, and he has a light piercing dragon stylized switchblade. So the handle is going to be ornate and pretty, and there might be some etching on the blade. I didn't want to go too far into it, but there you go, something a little pretty. I'll try to find some photos or something that I can put up. And then I was looking around for vehicles and what he should have, and I found a 1953 Kaiser Dragon sedan. This is an actual car. It's gorgeous, and he's going to have a custom paint job, which is an advertisement for his store. This is going to piss off everybody who loves classic cars, because he's going to have it turned into an advertisement. In that trunk of the car, he has various tarps and sanitation supplies. This is for work primarily, but I could definitely see it coming in handy for other things. I also found that there is a Harley Davidson Isa, I'm very bad at that kind of thing, Dragon. And that's for nights when Christof is not working. So he doesn't have to just drive around in a car that everybody knows is his. His haven. He's going to go ahead and live in Impaler Inc., and this is where he's a point over. I was looking through one of the things, and everybody on last night's live stream was saying that surgery is a must for his haven. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to have surgery in a small haven. So I went ahead and I upgraded his haven to a 2-point, giving him 1 extra point. I hope nobody minds, but I'm very happy with how it came out. And yes, that haven merit, he has his surgery. The location Impaler Inc. is going to be located in the downtown area of a city. It does its part to stay on the radar of various health and authority departments. Christof enjoys having the local authorities believe he is running a legitimate business with all the proper permits and licenses kept up to date, which they are. It is also set as close as possible to the arts district. I can also see Christof giving cops and paramedics and things and people in that line of work discounts on his work, and also using that as a way, if you did decide to allow his tattoos to blood bond people, him being able to get other influences in other areas for that purpose. So the description. Impaler Inc. is a standalone 2-story building. The walls are covered in photos of the work that has been done by Vlad Lugosi, as well as beautiful examples of body modification, photos, and preserved from around the world and throughout history. The entire downstairs is an art gallery devoted to body modification, and the various stalls, which Vlad calls chambers, are set along the sides of the building. So when you walk in, they're going to be to the left, to the right, and they're going to be set up to look like almost like torture chambers. The back area is an office and stairs that lead up to the second floor. And if it's set in a location where you can get away with this, also there would be another set of stairs that go down to a basement, most likely hidden. And that could be used for later on to add a postern or something else to the haven. And then upstairs is a full medical facility. In the back of the building is set bay door for receiving for whatever the building was before Christof got a hold of it. The receiving area, however, is it's been converted into an indoor garage. All right, so we went ahead and we went over his history at the beginning of the video, but that is all here. That is all for you guys to use. Now, here is some stuff. Christof is 57 years old. He was embraced in his mid-20s. His birthday is July 9th, 1965. A lot of people said they wanted to see him embraced in the 60s. So I'm going to go ahead with 1965, but I put July 9th, which was yesterday's date, because that was when we made him. We made him on July 9th, 2022. His date of death was in 1993, and I chose that date because that was when the War of Chicago hit, when the Sabbat and the Black Spiral Dancers attacked the city of Chicago. He is an American character, which also can be changed depending on where everybody lives. And I went ahead and I did a little background check on the name Constantine, and the most prevalent that I was able to find was French and Greek as his historical background. He has dark brown hair when he has it. He's got brown eyes most of the time, really, and he's 6 foot 2 inches, 251 pounds, and male. Under the description, I put Christof enjoys changing his appearance from time to time. Various modifications are subject to his whims: piercings, tongue splitting, elfing of the ears. That's when they point the ears. Corseting. That's when they actually like open up the back and like run ribbon in between and pull it together. It's actually the skin. It's kind of crazy. If you got a strong stomach, look it up. Various implants under the skin for texturing. All of these and more are here from one night and gone the next. He prefers a minimalist wardrobe of blacks, whites, and grays, but better to show off the art that is his own form. But he is not against a pop of color in the form of a bright colored pocket square or a necktie from time to time, perhaps to match his current eye color. At work, he's prone to wearing tuxedo vest, pants, and shoes with no shirt. And on arrival at events, he may also sport a top hat and a black silk cape with a matching lining of his eye color. Vlad Lugosi is a character, after all. A vampire pretending to be a human, pretending to be a vampire, to paraphrase Anne Rice. I love this character, and I had such a great time trying to figure him out. I left the relationship map part empty because the only ones on there would be Bran Bishop and also S&M. And I can see you guys filling that out as you see fit. I just want to say that last night I had a blast. You guys are amazing. I had so much fun talking to you guys and hanging out and answering whatever questions you had, and actually sitting down and doing a game activity with you guys and building a character. There's been a lot of great ideas that I'm taking into consideration for the channel that you guys had, and I look forward to doing this kind of thing again. But as for that is Christof Constantine, or Vlad Lugosi if you're at work. And I look very much forward to seeing how all of you use him in your games. If he ends up being SPCs, if some of you end up using him as a player character, because keep in mind, he's only 1 point off of being base book. And that's awesome. That's just fun. Anyway, I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for joining me. And this was our special for hitting 1,000 subscribers in our world of darkness. I am Voivode Maquette, and thank you for joining me for this very, very special Metaplot Monday. Good evening.